which depresses living standards at home and allows corporations to destroy the quality of life in banana republics and client states all around the world. NAFTA has not only cost us millions of manufacturing jobs, but has also allowed Archer Daniels Midland to undercut the price of corn in Mexico, driving millions of Mexican family farmers off the land and across the border looking for work. In addition, the World Trade Organization, the IMF, and the World Bank have caused untold suffering around the world. If we can't reform them, we will abolish them. Our values and goodness are not reflected by a system in which all our personal income taxes go to pay interest on a staggering national debt created out of thin air. The Constitution gives Congress the right to coin our money, not a private cartel. I ask Congress to pass legislation abolishing the Federal Reserve. Our values and goodness are not reflected by a government which uses our money to train death squads in the techniques of torture, intimidation, and assassination. The School of the Americas, by whatever name they choose to call it, is closed. Our values and goodness are not reflected by a government which gives most favored nation status to the butchers of Tiananmen Square and places an illegal secondary embargo on the impoverished people of Cuba. The embargo of Cuba must end, and it just did. Now, I recognize that we need advanced information on the activities of Al-Qaeda and those who wish to do us harm. But our values and goodness are not reflected by, and our security is not enhanced by, an organization that promotes instability, insurrection, tyranny, torture, terrorism, murder, and war around the world in our name and with our money. John F. Kennedy and Jimmy Carter tried to reform the CIA so it would stick to gathering intelligence. They failed. I'm not going to try. As of this moment, I am abolishing the CIA. Our values and goodness are not reflected by a government which sends its working class youth around the world to kill the sons and daughters of working people in other countries. Our values and goodness are not reflecting by sending our children to the Middle East to kill Arabs so the oil companies can profit from selling the oil under other people's sand, making us the target of terrorists. No more Iraqs. No more Kosovos. No more El Salvadors. These are not isolated incidents of stupidity. They're part of a long, bloody history of foreign policy being conducted for the financial interests of the wealthy few. It is a new form of colonialism. It violates our Constitution. It endangers our national security. It mortgages our future. It sacrifices our children. It must stop. And it just did. As president, I will use the men and women in our armed forces to protect our borders and our people. Period. Not the financial interests of Folgers, Chiquita Banana, Exxon, and Halliburton. This one change in mission, eliminating, protecting the financial interests of multinational corporations, this one change in mission will allow us to reduce spending for the Department of Defense by 80%. I have ordered the new Secretary of Defense, Admiral William Fallon, to begin an immediate recall of our forces all around the world. After 63 years, the occupation of Germany and Japan has come to an end. With the exception of small Marine detachments to guard our embassies, all our military will be home within 3 months, and all overseas bases will be returned to the host countries. Now, needless to say, there will be no nuclear attack on Iran. My special envoy to the Middle East, Jimmy Carter, will be meeting with them to solve our differences. And once he has finished there, he will straighten out the Israelis and the Palestinians. Finally, I'd like to speak directly to the American people. I'm unlikely to last long in this job. Partly because I have terminal cancer from Agent Orange, and partly because there are powerful interests, like insurance companies, oil companies, and bankers, with hundreds of billions of reasons for wanting me assassinated. By the way, if you hear that I have suddenly committed suicide by shooting myself in the back with a shotgun 3 times, you might want to be just a little suspicious. Oh, they'll call you a conspiracy theorist, but be suspicious anyway. But you know, it won't matter. They can kill me, but they can't kill what we started. It's too late for that.
That's right.
My words heard tonight by a few will tomorrow reach many. And if the corporate media won't carry it, YouTube will. You, the American people, will not let it die. I'm unlikely to get there with you, but like Brother Martin, I have been to the mountaintop, and I have seen the promised land. What I have seen is an America in which every person, regardless of their race, creed, color, age, or sexual orientation, is valued and lives in dignity. Every person is cared for, and every person is free to reach his or her full potential. It's an America in which every family can be supported by one wage earner with one job, paying a living wage. Yes. It's an America in which health care is provided to all as a right through a single-payer national health program. You know, as a conservative, I believe that the only fiscally responsible way to provide universal health care is to eliminate the profit, overhead, red tape, and interference between doctor and patient of the insurance companies by kicking them out of health care altogether.